analyzing data, we can kind of change this, right? We can overcome all these challenges. And we need data, as we discussed, or we've been discussed for the past 2 or 3 days. We need tools to help experts to make decisions. And I also gave, I think, a little bit of what I would say a strong opinion or something, but I think we need the population to be drivers also in this process. So it's also our responsibility to kind of popularize the use of data and the use of tools for that, right? Although the other thing that I'd like to mention, and also I know that this is a technological discussion, but I think one of the important things is not all the barriers that we face are not going to be technological, right? And just, I mean, we need to convince the people that have the power or have the money to do it that it is important to do it, right? We have to convince our population that it is important to do. And just to give you an example of how this is important, have you seen any of these diagrams? Right, when you want to buy like fridges and cars and everything, you see one of these, right? So let's play a little game. So A plus is the best one, G is the worst one, right? Imagine that you want to buy a car that's environmentally friendly because you want your city to be better, right? So we have 3 options. Either you buy a Fiat 500, a nice Mercedes, or a war tank to go around. Which one of these scores would you give to each one of these? Who thinks that? Just give me one. So, or maybe just think. So which one is the most efficient in that score for you? Fiat, right? Which one would be the worst? The tank, right? So the actual scores are these, right? The Fiat 500 is the worst one. The Mercedes is the best one, and the tank is actually better than, so we should be driving tanks, right? Much better than the Fiat 500. But the problem is this. So we are not only facing technological barriers or obstacles, but we can help with technology to solve it, right? The problem is that the people that came up with these scores are the people selling the cars, right? And they want to sell the cars like the most expensive ones. So what they did, instead of the score reflecting the actual emission of the CO2, is like a ratio of CO2 by weight. So the thing is that the BMW emits more pollution, right? But since it's heavier, the score goes up, right? And like this is a play that they make actually in Germany. This example comes from Germany, where the BMW and Mercedes are very powerful. And again, it's a country that we don't believe that this type of stuff happens, but it does. Right? So this is a simple example of how, I mean, we have to somehow not only, give the tools, but we have the responsibility to give the right tools so people can understand what's happening there. So that's just my food for thought for the beginning.
Thank you. Next is the oldest one. Sorry. Mohan.
I just prepared some slides about smart cities. Yeah. Actually, when we talk about smart city, we think something. We imagine the smart city. We have some pictures showing the smart city. For me, for instance, we must define the city. The city is where we live. And the one we live is this. 3 million of people will move to city every week. 3% of the area taken by cities. More than 70% of energy is the energy consumption by the cities. Some other numbers. The man, for me, one of the important numbers in the violence. We have 100,000 of people killed from violence. Millions of people are killed as a result of accident. That means there is a reality. We live in this world. And in the world, there are some refugees and so on. That's some another number. We have more than 2 billion tons of waste. And the city is this thing. That's the reality, actually. The question: we can't stay and wait, and one day everything will collapse, or we need to think the organization of the future city. We need to think organization. And organization it's not only smart with ICT. We need to organize the city. That's what Rome did in 15th centuries. That's what the Greek did, etc. I think that to organize the city, we need, of course, technology. We need some infrastructure. We talk about smart cities. Imagine if you want to have if you are building smart city, you haven't network connection. That means Wi-Fi doesn't work. How can we build a smart city? We need technology, of course. We need algorithm, mathematics, machine learning techniques. We need social science, humanities, because the question is, I don't know, for those who attended the talk of Elsa, we must talk about what we call the technology penetration. Some people doesn't accept the technology. Imagine you will say, okay, I will put something, a camera watching you. No, I don't want to have a camera. But if you say it's necessary because it's of your security, you must explain to the people what we'll do with the data, what we'll do with all the collected data. And of course, we have a big concern with privacy and risks. This is bins which collect, when you pass, it collects your phone, your iPhone address. I think it's in Barcelona, or I think. Huh? No? Yeah, imagine. Imagine that you don't know that you are pisted, you are trashed. Yeah, trash. Ouais, pisted en français. And when we talk about this, there is a director of MIT, I think he recalls this asymmetric system. Why it's asymmetric? Because these companies collect your data, institutions collect your data. That means they know everything about you, but you know nothing about them. That's why there is an asymmetry between you and these companies. And these companies, what they will do with their data? They will sell them. A company exists because it will earn money. Otherwise, the company will close. And they will get money with your data, with your personal data. That's, of course, we need the law to better handle this question. In Europe, for instance, we have some law to to cope with this such questions. Okay. What's about? Imagine tomorrow you have smart city. Everything is connected. There are algorithms. There are computers which are controlling everything. What about hacked city? Imagine tomorrow someone will hack the city. Everything will be blocked. That's this risk. We must think about this risk. Of course, we are not against technology, but these risks are real risks. We need to think about them. The title of the challenge is about the panel is about research challenges. My question actually I ask panelists. I'm not expert on the smart cities, that's why I will ask the panelists. I don't know if there is new research issues specific to smart city. I'm not sure. If so, I'd like to have this specific issue. For me, we have some classical. When I say classical, that means it's not something easy. Classical, that means known problem in machine learning, in database system, in a lot of domain. But we have some legal constraints. We have some domain constraints. Smart city has some constraints. When you build the program, you need those constraints. That's my thought about this question.
Thank you. For those coming after the beginning of the panel, if you are willing to ask particular questions before the floor is open, there's our assistants with little papers. You can write in English or in Portuguese, and they will give them to me, and I can put those questions to the panelists. Okay? So, next panelist, Elsa, please. We didn't ask for stuff.
Because I think I start such reflection during my presentation this morning, but okay, I will some repeats kind of what they already said, but because smart city is, we can see smart cities as specific systems where we have ICT, but we also have people. The problem and the specific problem of smart cities are these people. This is because it's human-centered, and that we don't have such problem. For example, in database or in machine learning, it's just data. Now it's data and people. So we need to take into account the citizens into the system as a part of the system, because they act in the city, they make decisions in the city, and it's each person is different. So we cannot make like patterns or something for each person we have in the city. And as already said by Genoveva, it's not the summation of all the people to obtain a crowd. So I think that we will have some challenges about taking into account the citizen in the city and what all the problems that we can have when we include people in systems, such as, okay, very French discussion about the ethics. Okay, as you say, why this camera is here, and why can the administration have some information about me, and I cannot maybe have access to this information. This is also a big problem. So smart cities is the beginning. It's a new area, so I think we will face some challenges that we don't already know. we will have, okay, some ICT challenges and technical challenges, but I think we will have managerial challenges, we will have social challenges, economic challenges. So this is like a multi-criteria analysis of what is a smart city, I think.
Thank you. Now it's up to Placido to even wrap up but talk about his opinion.
Good afternoon, everyone. That's interesting because during the school we learn a lot about how to collect data, how to visualize data, how to mine data, and a little bit about a bit of reflections about what's the real smart cities, considering society and so on. So we saw a lot of data during the school. It's important how to use the data in order to have a better society. So data is everywhere. Urban data are based on reality, so each record of data in a specific domain represents a location, time, opinion, comments, so how to treat all these comments. And application in general can encompass intelligent city management, disaster management, and transportation. So these are some challenges that you can face considering the data. So we consider the traditional analysis you can make an exploratory analysis. So the analyst visualize a subset of data, considering a map, after interact with the data, so having some insights and so on, run new queries to get new information or new insights in order to get important values from a specific subject. So this is the traditional way to analyzing data in order to find solution for smart city or no matter other domains considering data. And a question that you can make is what you need to make our city smart. We know, we have discussed during these 3 days that it's important to collect data, to save the data, integrate data, visualize data, but is it enough? Only this? Maybe not. Maybe not. So first of all, you need integration in other domains of society, governments, developing public policies that focus on smart cities. If the government are not engaged in this issue, it's a bit difficult to have a smart city. Academia, it's really important. We are in academia, so institution that must be engaged and integrated. That's really important. Integrated to solve problems that bring benefits to the society. We are serving the society academically. The result is to give to the society. So we need to think, elaborate, and execute projects together with the object of solve real problems. Companies, it's really important because in the academia you have solutions. So companies can take this real solution and buy the idea and give to the society new tools and devices that can make their lives a little bit better. So companies must have a social responsibility in their actions, and also it's important to finance projects that favor the development of our smart city. And the most important one for me is society. Data came from us, me and you that produce the data that are consumed. Data in Facebook, in Twitter, and we are walking in the city. Are you and me that are producing this data? So But we need to do more than this, more than produce. We need to ask and for the government and for the companies improvements in their actions. So it's important. People give a little bit of pressure to the government in order to have real solution for the city and participate in the decision of the city. It's really important. Be part of the government, giving an opinion. So, are we planning our future? So we need to be engaged in these ideas to make our city smart. So, smart city produce, make available, analyze, and use that in an intelligent way. So, some few conclusions. So, we need to make data available. It's important. We need to have integrated institution with common thoughts in order to save real problems. So we need to form and prepare people to work with data analysis. So the idea of the school is prepare you and me to work with data analysis to help the government with new solutions. We need to produce software and hardware resources to support the government and also the citizen. And also, we need, and above all things, to have a society with thoughts in order to minimize the real problems to make a city smarter. So, it's a lot of things to think, but the society is the most important one. Technology is important, but society is most important, only technology. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we're going to change a little bit of strategy. We're going to go into kinky questions, okay? And in order to do that, I am going to choose, well, one of the topics that we will be addressing that is related to something that they all speak about, and it's about data and privacy, okay, and security. So I suppose that you all have seen the Black Mirror, the series, and there's one episode where people is extremely connected. Well, in fact, there are two episodes. One is all about likes, and suddenly everyone is connected, and there's no money. There is just likes, and so you can buy things or have access to things and to services according to the number of likes you receive. Okay, that's the episode. Of course, this under the assumption that everyone is connected, everyone interacts with each other through these kind of applications with likes exchange. Yet there are some people that decided to stop with this. They couldn't bear anymore to have this control of likes, and so one of the characters has problems, and this alternative person says, you know, I stopped being connected. And she says, no, this is impossible. And what about services, and what about accessing to all the comfort you can have thanks to this technology, okay? Well, in fact, the question is whether you want to sell your soul to the devil or not and accept this. So this is one, and the other one is something that everyone has a chip, and you can forward and backward your memories. No? So, and everyone, or the ones that you accept, you can share the memories with you. And you can imagine how complicated this can be if everything you have in memory can be shared to others, okay? So coming back to less abusive ways of thinking about data. I am sure that you all know Francesco Bonchi, who is a very influential person in social networks domain. And years ago, when there were no social networks, he published one of the first book chapters talking about privacy when you track moving people. And there he proposed some strategies in order to be able to track, but preserving privacy. Yet the world has changed, and then we have public terror and a lot of crimes in our open spaces. And my question is to the panelists: do we need to sacrifice privacy in the sake of having more intelligent and particularly more personalized and smart solutions? If you want to come to the audience, please do not hesitate and write and ask them.
When we talk about privacy, I think it's very theoretical. When you know that we have more than 1.5 billion of people on Facebook, they are sharing their photos, they are sharing everything. I am in Natal, I am taking a flight at 10. People are giving their data. But when if we ask them, do you want to give your data to be using, I don't know, privacy? That's really, I'm really asking. This is, for me, it's probably just a legal problem. But in reality, people want to share their data, their data in general.
Considering that, I think that no, I agree, I completely agree. Consider your talk. People are already sacrificing their privacy because they are putting their photos, and even if you have an account in Gmail, maybe everyone has an account in Gmail, so your privacy is sacrificed already. So for those that don't like to share their data, maybe not. It's not interesting to sacrifice their privacy in order to have good services or good insight by the software. So, oh, you can do this. You are here. So there is a supermarket that you are maybe needing to buy something. For example, in your smartphone, you have time and location. Google knows where you work or not. And once I not came to work in the same time, and the smartphone, I am not late. So the software, there is all working inside. So your data there. So
yeah, but do you have the feeling that we as computer scientists can we knowing that even if people are not really aware that they are sharing their data and they are selling their privacy, can we think of solutions? Do you feel that this is possible to find out solutions where we kind of respect or at least make available some contract that would say, hey, you are going to give me this, and let's do a contract or whatever in order to deal with your data. Is it possible, or we just have to accept or not, like black and white?
Okay, I will take an example I think everybody knows, and still something like 2 years we use, and we have to check somewhere in your web page something to say about cookies. cookies were the premise of this problem of data privacy on the web, because before that everybody checks something, buys something, and so on, and all the data stay on your computer and never. Okay, non-computer scientist people don't know what's happened, and okay, each time you have, okay, I buy new shoes last week, and now I have a lot of advertisements on shoes and so on each web page, and oh my God, why? This is magic. No, this is not magic. This is because of your cookies. And when the non-scientific people understand what is a cookie, it was in Europe, in fact, still 2 years. It's oh my God, a cookie here and cookie here, and what is cookie? In fact, I work with some lawyer on this problem, and in Europe, in fact, we have each country, we make some legal difference on that, but they don't really have a problem with the fact that data are exchange and so on. The problem is just we don't ask the owner if we can or not. It was just this problem, as one say, it's not the problem to share, it's just I want to know. So, but I think cookies was the first problem with data privacy. And we will have the same problem in smart cities because, okay, there is a captor, there is a sensor, I just cross the street and, okay, a photo. Why they don't ask me? I don't know if it's really... We have to take care about that, but I'm not sure that this is a real problem.
Well, it's a tough one. Do the U.S. do we need to give up or give up about privacy and for smart cities? I mean, again, I think it depends what you call a smart city. I mean, do we need every time that we cross a trash can to be scanned and to say like, I passed through here? For what, right? So, do we need such a service? So the question is, which services do we need that we have to give up this some sort of privacy? I think what would be the best ways if we could opt out something, right? And today it seems to me that we can somehow, right? But you have in some, for example, if we are talking about phones, we kind of, when we install an app, we accept that we are sharing something with that app, right? The problem is that we don't know what people can do with that something that we are sharing, so we don't know what it is. But I mean, it's not only Google that knows where your home is, right? So there are apps that are tracking you, and like they give you. It's not like people are nice and put like apps on the Play Store for you to download for free, right? Because they are making money on us, right? So, for example, I know that companies started to provide a service like this, to service to banks, right? The service is the following: when you go to a bank and ask for credit, sometimes people go and lie about their addresses, right? So they say that I live in a different place. And what they can do now is that since they are following us, they can infer where our home is, even without us telling them where we live, right? So, is this a smart city? Do we want to give up this? Do we want to? I mean, we are. I don't know. So, but again, at some point it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad if we are attracted at the point that, I mean, they know wherever I went, right? So where I go and things. So I think if I had the chance to opt out some of the services, so I don't know, like as I go in the supermarket and I can choose to buy A or B, right? But I can't choose which portion of the city I want smart for me and which ones I don't. So I think it would be nice if we could say like, I'm willing to give up my location for this service, but I'm not willing to give up my, I don't know, medical records because I don't want to. So I mean, like, I don't. It's a medical records might not be the best example, but it's something like I want to, you know, share some of my information because I want this service, but I don't want the other one.
So one of the challenges would be personalization, but at a very low level of the stack.
Yeah, just to add something about actually the big issue is about transparency. We have data. I must know. If you want to use this data, I must know for what you are using them, for etc. That's for me. That's the big issue. The second point. We must have some contracts about if I want to be opted out, this question of the issue of EVA, we should be able to do it. I think in Europe there is a law. You can be opted out, and you can be what we call, I won't be forgotten. That's the law in Europe. That means this thing we are in Europe, we are starting thinking about this thing. We are not against exploiting our data, but we want to know how this data are exploited and for what. Even if you want to make money, but I want to know what type of data. For instance, I don't want to give my location, but my test, it doesn't matter if you want to compute the point of view of people. I don't care if you want to use that. That's for me. That's the issue. Transparency.
Okay. From the floor, some reactions. I have reactions. How can we reduce the power of the politicians and the government with these technologies? So this is about use, no? Who is going to use, and whether we have, as users, some power. Maybe they don't belong to the politicians or the government, but whoever uses the data. Do you feel, for example, it's about transparency finally. Would it be possible, for example, technologically speaking, to track now who is consuming your data?
Yes, it's possible. If you have a lot of data that can be mined, so you have many information, including personal information. So I think the power is not the government. The power is everyone that are using the data, producing data, so consuming data, because we are not only producing data, we are consuming data by others. For example, maybe there is apps that inform you that all that, or that people are close to you. Maybe you can see each other. So in this situation, there is transparency. You allow apps to use your data. You know that apps use your data with this object. They match people in some place or make group meetings. So I believe that the power is with each one of us, using and consuming the data in a responsible way. So it's not the government. The government has our data. The government know where I live, where you live, what you do, how much money you have, somehow. So in considering the use of data, I think the power is one of us.
If we want to understand how the data are used, we need to develop new science. The science will be called algorithm transparency. That means we need to build theory, science, which is capable to take an algorithm and understand or program. Imagine Google. How Google rank document? Someone could give me the answer. We don't know. But we imagine, Google is giving us document ranking, and we don't know what's behind the algorithm. For me, one of the biggest challenges for science is to understand this type of algorithm. I have a result, and then I must build science theory which is capable to understand this algorithm. If we can do so, that means it's something, transparency, I have it, because I have science which is capable to open this black box.
So, yeah, there are 2 points that I'd like to comment. The first one is related to what we've been talking before. I think I wanted to be some sort of negative about the world here and say, like, when we share the data, I think even if we had a contract, we need to trust that people are going to to follow what is in there, because I mean we all have seen that people, even if they are not allowed, they share data, they do whatever, and we have to be prepared for this, right? So if we were talking about cities being hacked, imagine that we have a contract with Facebook that we want to use our data with this way, but somebody gets that data and just does something else. So that's something that we need to be aware of, and need to be able to trust whoever we are giving our data to. And the other point, I think, we are starting, I think, to see some sort of what you're talking about. So last year I saw this interesting paper about prejudice in algorithms. I don't know if you've seen this, right? So, and the idea is, okay, there are laws that say that when you make a decision, for example, of giving credit or not, or giving somebody a health plan or something, you can't use maybe racial background or something like this. And they want to, having an algorithm as a black box to test if the algorithm is actually using racial background or not. And so this is some sort of what you're talking about, right? Transparency. But I think the other thing that science could do maybe would be, is there a way that we could maybe, like, and I'm sure people have tried to do this, but it's not my area of expertise, that change the data slightly so you can only do 1 or 2 operations that I agree with that, right? So with some sort of de-anonymization or randomness or whatever, you can make a conclusion on top of it, but you cannot you can infer my location at 12 p.m., but you cannot infer my location at night when I'm home or something like that, right? I think the other side that the science could do is something like this. I want to mask my data somehow, in some sense that you can only use it for a certain purpose. So even if somebody gets that data, they can't do much with that, right? Something like that would be great, but I don't know if it's possible or not.
Thank you. I have a question from the audience. This is more or less related to the first part of your presentations. The person says that Professor Placido talked about the importance of people accessing technology, and then in the slide of Professor Nivan, he showed a photograph where there's a contrast between the rich side and the poor side of the city. His or her question is, in your opinion, which should be the steps to take in order to make the life of these people better? What should we do in order to use technology and develop technology in order to reach the most poor side of society?
Excellent question. In my talk I said that technology is important, but it's not enough. Society is more important than technology. So take people from poverty, giving a better life is more important than the use of technology. So, but government must to make actions considering both, considering the idea of people that know money, even to eat. Here in Brazil, we have many people, and also giving opportunities for that people for education, to go to the university and get a job, have money to live, and if the people like, after that or during the process, use some technology to use public services and to consume important data. So there is one action do not exclude the others. So I think the basic thing that the government must do is considering education. People in poverty, they don't want to know about technology. They want to know about what they will eat in the next lunch or next dinner. I think government must invest in education, bring people to discussion of the city and society. If they want, consume technology, consume data, produce data, and give opinion, solution for their neighborhood that people know better than us. So that people must give us their needs, say the government, and for all of us their needs, what is important for them, considering take them from poverty to another better life, considering that. So society is also more important than technology, but you can use technology to help that people take out of poverty somehow.
A word. Just a word. Yeah. No, it's probably wishes, it hopes. I think that smart cities or smart city will help will help these people, will help to fight poverty, will help to, because the definition says we create city where we live happy. So I hope that the cities or the smart cities will help all the people, and also it will help to fight poverty, as I said.
Well, I don't know who asked this question, but probably it's the toughest question that we might face, right? Because, I mean, as we said, or maybe as we tried to say somehow, I think most of us said, this is not an entirely technological problem, or I don't think it's only a technological problem. How we are talking about technology to people that might not have even access to a cell phone or network or anything. So they are already excluded from everything that we've been talking about, right? So, I mean, it's a complicated issue. So if you say people would rather have a cell phone because they want to have access to a nice thing, but they want to have access to food, right? There's a question of priorities, and it's tough. And what I can see is that we can try to, I mean, we have to do two things, in my opinion, maybe two general things: is to change culture and to change, or the technology can try to help in this, change culture and change these priorities. Because, I mean, we probably have seen examples. I know examples in my hometown where the government gave like houses, like community houses to poor people, right? And after some years, they are back where they started, right? Because they sell the house. They don't have, I mean, is what? Because they chose to do that, right? They don't have, I mean, they grew up with that a mindset, or they are used to a particular mindset. There's a problem of, I mean, what's the problem there? I don't know. We have to change what culture is, and it's not about only poor places. So I've been in the United States where people say, like, I don't want. So Brazil has like this public health system that is some sort. Is not the perfect one, but we have one, right? The United States doesn't have one, and I heard people in the United States said, I don't want to use my money to pay for somebody else's health, right? This is a cultural issue, right? So we as a society need to choose that we want to help somebody or some portion of the population, that we want more equality. And I think with data and tools we can like show that this is happening in a clearer way. And maybe people would change their opinion, change their culture. But I mean, without that, without the society actually wanting it to happen, it's not going to happen, right? We can do all sorts of smart and nice things to the city, but if we don't choose to do it, it's not going to happen.
Just a few words. I was thinking about an example of how ICT can help poor people, because they are always out when we speak about smartphone and so on, because they cannot access to that. An example is during the migration program, the guys coming from Syria and so on, and there was an ONG which gives for free some shoes to children and people who don't have shoes when they go from one point to another one, and it was for free. It was very simple shoes like a flip-flop or something like that, and inside the shoes they put some chips, RFID, yeah, okay, RFID sensors, and they can follow these people during their path from one country to another one, and according to the analysis of this data, they add some checkpoints along the traditional path to be sure that they are okay, and so on. They make some red cross points to be sure that everybody is okay, and it's thanks to this ICT in the shoes that they can do that. So I think it was a good thing. So maybe it's a way to help.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap up with respect to this. There's an action in Africa with respect to cell phones. In Africa, they have problems for installing infrastructure so that people can have phones. And one of the solutions was to have mobile phones, very simple ones, those that we maybe choose not to use anymore, and they are distributing these kind of phones, and so that people can communicate. Of course, there's antennas, and industry and companies are there for connecting these antennas, but they are less expensive than having real connection, and so that people can be not excluded thanks to these telephones. And this works very well, and in fact people tend not to use normal phones but mobile phones, and the market has also evolved, and you see, it's all about exclusion. So maybe the key is, first of all, let's try to reduce exclusion, and then care for attacking other problems. Yes.
And I have another comment. So I unfortunately I don't remember the exact example, but I remember that I saw in a talk an example that was happening in Africa, that they wanted, they didn't have enough doctors to diagnose some sort of illness in the population. And what they did is that the test for the symptoms is kind of simple, right? You just need to look at the person, and somehow a lightly trained person could do it. So what they did was they gave people cell phones, some people cell phones, they lightly trained them, and they can do some sort of service to the government, right? So there's some sort of inclusion as well. So people that didn't have jobs, they didn't have technology, they now have both, right? And they can help society make money. So that would be another form of inclusion. So it's not exactly giving everything for free, but like you can, if the government has some sort of program that they can even like do something, right? And can get some money from it, they can like feel part of what is happening and like get something from it.
So with this we have the possibility to go into education. And I'm going to start with the following thing. Some minutes ago you were talking about cookies, and people do not knowing what is a cookie. And in fact, don't you feel that moving forward smart cities or technology is also all about educating people technologically? What do you feel about this?
We are discussing during the morning about the gap of old and young people using technology. Here in Brazil, for example, we have a big gap. Many old ones mostly don't have access to technology, or if they have, they don't want to learn in general. So it's difficult. For example, maybe someone has a grandpa or grandma that, can you help me using this or using that? So people somehow don't want to know about technology. And if you start considering the youngest, there are people that don't want technology, that people that don't want to use social network, that people that don't want use a smartphone, they prefer use a phone. So only to call people and to receive calls and so on. If you consider that technological part is the most important one, it's important to educate people. If you consider this aspect, if you consider that this is not the most important aspect, you have to educate people considering the basis of considering society, how to use better money to give better services to the society, to make the city smarter, not considering only technology, but the way you use your bike, your bus, your car. So you don't need only technology, for sure, and everyone agrees maybe that technology is important. So education path through technology, but path through other domains that we need to consider. So, for example, the school is important to form people in data analysis domain, or make people reflect that that's important, analyze data, and so on and so on. But there are other aspects that you need to consider in the education to how or why you are analyzing data. Why?
I was thinking, for example, you know that these young people that take Snapchat, for example, and things like that, and you take photos of everything and you do, and the problem is that there's danger behind. If you're very young and somebody is watching, or you become a public person. In fact, we are all public people now. And now, if you are asking for a job, for example, what you said or the type of photos you took might be important. And this is because people, even if they're using technology, they do not know which are the real implications of using technology. And I have the feeling, you will tell me, this is all about education. Yes. And also, for example, parents saying, I don't care, I don't know about technology, I'm not interested in what they're doing. You see, so this kind of, I'm talking about this democratized education of the use of technology and its implications.
I think, or I guess that in the future we'll have much more people with the smart iPhone, I don't know, and probably the problem will be the inverse problem. Someone who is not connected, suspicious, or we will invent something we will call the virtual death. That's we can die physically or virtually. I guess that we cannot stop technology. We cannot stop it. And smart city will be a reality, I think, because there are some real examples built from scratch. There is a town, very known town in Korea, known Songdo, which was built from scratch by Cisco. And the guys are living there in smart life, and I don't know how this type of things has been evaluated in terms of science. I don't know what's the feedback, but this type of cities exist. And for me, technology like a car in 19th century probably who owns a car? But no, car is not everyone has a car, and I guess that this type or electricity. I'm talking in average. Of course, you have some region in the world where there are a lot of problems, but in general, this type of technology will exist, and I think the term inclusion is very important. We must help people to be included in this technology and in smart cities, and to take benefit from the ICT, from the everything that can be offered by smart cities.
Oh, my opinion, yes, there is everything about education. I was thinking about why do we wait until we get to a computer science university level course to learn about cookies, right? So, actually, in my second year, I heard about them. So it's like the second year of my university level course, right? Of course, you can, if you are kind of technology inclined, I'm going to read it somewhere on the internet. But if you're not, you don't know what you're giving up. So I think you were right. So I remember my wife showed me this provoking thing that was an interview from Conrad Wolfram, that the guy that created the Wolfram Alpha software. I don't know if you know about it. It's like a famous software, and the title that it's here is 80% of the thing that you learn about mathematics you don't use for anything, right? It's worthless. And although that I think it's too serious to say that, because I want my students when they come to the university to know about mathematics. The thing is, we need probably to change what we are teaching, right? So as you mentioned, like, do we focus on teaching the people for the world that they are going to face, or is we are teaching for the world that we're going to face like 50 years ago or something like that? Probably that's the second option that we are facing right now. So our curriculums are, okay, I learned in informatics, I think in Brazil, if you are in the high school level, if you are in, maybe not here in IFRN, but if you are in a normal school, the courses are how to like operate Windows, Word, Excel, and so on, but are not like what's out there, right? What's happening. And yes, this is a really bad thing.
Concerning education, I think for me there are two phases. In fact, there is, okay, the one you already said that, okay, people use Facebook and all the things, but they don't really know what they are doing. And there is the second phase where for some more old people saying, I don't care, I don't want to know. I think the problem is not they can't. The problem is they don't want because they don't know how does it function. In fact, I think this is the problem of trust, or maybe of transparency, or what I call explanation. Because you give something to a computer or an ICT or something, and you have something much appear, and for them it's like magic. But in fact, they don't understand what's really happening inside, and they don't want to know if they have made mistake or if it's the good answer. So I think the problem of education for this kind of people is linked to transparency and so on. But it's just my opinion.
Okay. Something from the audience. It says, I think that we can agree that intelligent cities are not wait a minute, because it's in Portuguese and I have to read all the sentence so that I can figure out what it's saying. No? So, yes, it says we can all agree that smart cities are not only about technology, that other aspects and other areas must be included in order that they can be possible. Which would be these areas, and how can we make these areas interact? So what are the areas that we put into work in order to make a smart city a reality?
We have discussed some areas during the school, for example, sociology, humanities, for example, the example that you gave about femicides, how to track the behavior of the woman, in which situation the woman are attacked and killed. So you can consider this information to give new real solution to face a big and real problem, especially here in South America. So sociology and humanities is a domain that can be considering for analyze this kind of data. For this kind of thing, tracking people, it's important. It's important, even considering the privacy. So you must to make people safe. Government must to consider these danger areas and make new action. Politicians for that areas in order to save women, to not be killed. So tracking people in these situations is really important. Is really important. So considering sociology, the behavior of people in crowds and so on, it's important to know how people react, considering a big problem, a murder that want to kill everyone, how they move, how people react. There are people that are shocked, they don't move, they stop it. There are others that run and run and run. So analyze this kind of behavior, I think it is interesting to propose solutions or discussion about the area.
Nothing to add, but just if we define the smart city, I think Elsa in Elsa's talk, she showed that smart city you have people, technology, sensors, data, and the land, and these three things are actually studied by different domains. People are studied by sociologists, humanities, all things concerning land, geographical, I think, theory, urbanism, urbanist, architecture. If we are talking about transportation, that means we need. This is really an interdisciplinary domain. We need all science, we need the law, because we are talking about privacy, we are talking about transparency. That's for me. Which science is not concerned? The question is that one. Which science is not concerned by smart city? If someone could give me one, I'll take it.
can say. Well, I'm not sure if I can tell whoever asked this question which areas should we face, because it's, I don't know if I know all the ramifications of the problems that we are going to face. So it's hard. But I think we should not put people on pockets, right? On buckets. I think, and I'm gonna go back to education and say, why we don't put people out of their comfort zone and put they together since they were like this age to do stuff, right? Because I think the problem that we have is we have to put people together, and it's hard to connect people from whoever area. So even inside the same area, it's hard to put people together. And I'm pretty sure that, I mean, it happens in my university. I'm pretty sure that it's tough here now. That it's also tough here. That I don't know what all my colleagues in the same department are doing, right? And it's tough to connect to people. And imagine somebody from a different field of expertise, because they have we all have some sort of preconceived notions of what they are, what they like, what they should do, what can do, what cannot do. And I think it's also a problem of education. So we should maybe be more problem oriented and put people together to do stuff. And I mean, it doesn't matter where they come from, but they need to be diverse, that's for sure. Because I mean, I can have this amazing idea of how to change the world, but I'm a computer scientist. I don't know everything that, like, when I was thinking about that slide of people participating in the government, one of the things that I thought was, okay, we have all this technology, but one of the things that and we have evolved a lot, right? But one of the things that I don't think has evolved so far is the way government happens, right? So the way that decisions are made are still centralized since maybe the Roman Empire or something, right? So we have senators and we have wherever. So since Brazil was started like 500 or something years ago, we have the governors, the deputies, the senators, and whatever. And why can't we change this? But when, okay, I thought this was a really smart idea, but then I don't know all the ramifications of it, right? Because if I'm going to say, okay, everybody can vote for everything they want, every bill that goes to the senators or something, it's crazy, right? We're not going to happen. And exactly. And then we're going to face problems like, probably you can't. So Brazil, it's mandatory for everybody to vote in the elections, different from the United States, for example. And if things are not mandatory, so you're going to have problems of people are going to be paid to vote for something, and it's a bad thing, right? But I mean, doesn't mean that we can't change anything. We might want to evolve, but yeah, we need people with different perspectives that can think differently about problems together. Yeah.
We have questions from the audience. Do you want us to know? Okay. So it's as professors and people in academia, how do you feel that students are missing in the area? And what do you consider that should be differential for these students? So what do they need to learn, and what are they learning so that they can contribute, I suppose, and how this knowledge can make them different in order to address smart cities problems? Do they learn what they need in order to face these problems? You have to answer.
Yeah, that's right. So, and again, this problem, I think, in my opinion, has two sides, right? So it's the technical things that you learn, and the purpose of the conscience that you have to do something, right? So I mean, I've throughout my education life, it's very rare to see somebody that says I'm going, or a student especially, to say I'm going to do something to improve whatever, my neighborhood, my city, or something like that. Even though they know stuff, right? They know how to operate computers, they know how to do math, to do basic statistics and everything. But the problem is that who is willing to go to the major office and get data or do something? And this is, I'm mentioning this because when I was in one of these meetings in my hometown, there was a couple of students that came and said, okay, we want to improve safety in my neighborhood, right? They came with pictures, they came with a plan, and we want to implement this. What do you think? So this is also some sort of attitude that we need to do, because again, you can learn everything and don't do it, right? I mean, we are learning the basic things. What I think we maybe can improve is, I would say in Brazil, would be the technological education. It's poor. I would say, like as I was saying, like we don't need to learn how to operate Windows, Word, and Excel anymore. We need to move beyond that, so we can use computers as proper tools instead of as a gaming device. And also teach this sense of purpose, right? Teach that you can do something, and then you might be able to do it. Again, having more maybe problem-oriented classes or something like that, or initiatives. Maybe it's not a class, an initiative that you can do something, and maybe we're gonna change it. But I think it's more of, if you want to do something, like the resources are available. If you have access to internet and a computer, everything that you need to learn is there. I'm pretty sure that if you go to a professor and say, "Professor, I want to do this," the professor is going to be more than happy to help you. Probably, right? You need to look for the right person, but somebody's going to help. But the problem is like the attitude, right? That is, I think it's missing.
Just to give my opinion about this question, actually, I'm not sure that we can give lectures, or not lectures, but how call formation?
Education, personal education.
Yeah, in smart cities, because smart city, as we showed it, or as we discussed it in this 3 days, concern different topics. Even in computer science, what I call computer science, or in ICT, we have some. We have, for instance, networking, but networking may have two parts. We have physical networking, which is much more concerned by electronic. We have computer science. Computer science, what we teach today on computer science are basics, which is necessary to handle any problem. We cannot give education to students to be able to handle only smart cities. It's not. There is what in French we call this employabilité. That means we give you some basics which can give you the right or tools to be able to work,
to be hired.
Any area. That's very important, because we are universities. We are not companies. We are giving the, how we call this, formation, j'ai oublié le terme.
Education.
The education, specific education. That means you do this and this. That's all. It's not our. Actually, it's not. The term university means universality. It's all, and we cannot give you education in law. We cannot give you education in social science, which is needed for such domain.
I want to move forward just not to miss the last question, I'm going to use the question of Professor Rubén Ramos from IFRN. Who I thank because he's letting me move forward to the last part of the panel. He says, do you know that city comes from Chita, that comes from civitas, the people that lived in the Roman earths. Should we still focus on using technology to make people smart rather on the government of the city? And with this question, I would like to move forward to technology transfer. And my question was, today governments, a lot of, at least in Latin America, I know because I have been involved in some projects that governments are buying smart cities platforms and solutions in order to deploy their smart cities services. What about technology transfer? There's a lot being done in academia. Why are governments not consuming technology from academia? Why aren't they promoting this technology transfer, which could be local consumption of ideas that adapt to the local problems? Does government needs education?
I believe that it's not a framework or something like that that will be solve the problem of the city or make the city smart, because to each city...
But they are due thousands of dollars.
Yes, they do.
They're very expensive.
They're expensive. Because cities are... Each city has its specific problem. Maybe in general, the common problems maybe can be the same, but in general we have different problems to face considering different cities. So frameworks, infrastructure is important, technology is important, but government must invest also in make the life of the people, the culture of people change a little bit, like Nivan said before, that it's a problem of culture somehow. If you are used to do this, even if you have a lot of technology, a lot of service, people will continue doing the same. So maybe the government can make some kind of work to change not to change the mind, but to change a little bit the culture of the city in order to use the garbage correctly, in order to produce streets thinking about cycling, not only cars or only bus. Change the culture of the city. It's really important also. I think if you compare this kind of action with technological use, if you balance, you have the same importance for both of them. So government must invest in this kind of things, not only in technology. Technology is important, but I think that there are other things most important than technology.
From my point of view, because you say we are at the university, this is too late. I think government have to invest in little school for children, because our children are the citizens of tomorrow, and if they don't know what is civism, yeah, and and how to protect themselves to new technology, and not to be assisted, because this is a big problem. I think that also because they prefer picking by Snapchat and so on, even if they have around the same table. So this is, I think, a problem of education, but not now, but before. It's for our child, not for us. I think it's too late for us, but I think it's the same idea, just we have to take the children.
So to add to the question is, my opinion is, I mean, if you imagine that the average citizen is unaware of what's happening in technology, I would say that there's a high probability that the people that we elect don't know also, right? Because they are one of us, right? And yeah, we need better education for this, because and we as a university or as a school, we don't do probably a good job of getting our work out there as well. So that's a particular problem. And probably have to improve this as well. So see, like, what can we do with what we produce, right? The other part of this problem is related, I think, to what I said or tried to suggest in the slides, is that, I mean, if we don't have a way for us to oversee what's happening, the decisions are always going to be made by somebody that can have what would say the wrong purposes. So the problem, for example, I was watching a documentary that is Netflix called Bike versus Cars. That's very interesting. It says that bike versus cars. It's like it's trying to promote biking or cycling, right? And one of the things that they mention is that San Francisco, I think it's San Francisco, had the best public transportation system in the world, like in the 50s. It was like trams and for everywhere, right? And like the car industry came, and since they wanted to promote it, they took everything away and built these huge roads and highways and everything, right? So that the city was now not promoting the mobility of people, but the mobility of cars. So they wanted to make money. And again, so because somebody made the decision probably by the wrong purposes, because they also were influenced by this. So if we produce the most awesome technology and somebody else has the worst one, but they are prettier or they are a friend of the mayor or something, and they buy it, and we can't say anything. So, and it's another point where probably if the society can influence this decision in a closer way, it would be better, maybe. Like this I don't know how to do this, how to make this happen, but we need to improve how these decisions are made, for sure. Like we as probably university need to get our work out there and say, like, we can do this cool stuff with what we produce. Although not all research should be like that. Probably research can be pure and doesn't need to do this, but we can do this awesome stuff. And probably oversee what the decisions to make or help them to choose the right one.
Well, I think it's time to close. Thank you very much to the panelists for this animated discussion. I think that we all are ready to go out in the city. We might be more intelligent now and more smart. So anyway, I hope that we all can contribute for making smarter the world. Thank you. So it seems that the protocol says that I have to say thank you, but I do not have. I'm very happy to say thank you to the Institute, to the organization committee. They have been working for a year. Last year I was here in order to, with great expectations of having this school, but it was also very abstract, and today it was concrete, and it was great. I think that, I hope that everyone will leave with something in the baggage so that you can apply ideas to your normal lives. And I, besides thanking I'm inviting you in 2 years to the third school. It will happen in France. And please follow us on the social networks, because we will very periodically be informing about our actions. And I hope I will see you in France. Thank you very much.
I would also like to thank everyone to stay here and to participate of this school. I will switch to Portuguese because I think that express emotion and gratitude is in our mother language it's better. So before to switch to Portuguese, je vous remercie vraiment. C'est votre contribution à vous, à moi. J'espère que la prochaine édition en France, vous pourriez envoyer vos étudiants, vous pourriez aller aussi. Vraiment, merci beaucoup à vous. Sortir de votre ville, venir à Natal, prendre des avions 10 heures, 12 heures pour venir ici. Vraiment, merci beaucoup a vous, a votre instituição aussi. Muito obrigado a todo mundo. Assim, eu estou muito feliz, de verdade, porque durante esse tempo que a gente teve organizando, um ano, se não fosse feito em muitas mãos mesmo, não seria possível. Os professores, eu não vou citar nomes para não ser injusto, mas os alunos, vocês foram incríveis. Muito obrigado, de verdade. Muito obrigado à instituição, aos professores, a quem acreditou na ideia, a quem se inscreveu para fazer parte. Nós tivemos 108 inscrições. No começo a gente estava pensando em 50, 60. Não, vamos fazer no auditório grande. É um sonho, né? Se a gente lotar o mini auditório, para mim já é o suficiente, que são 130 lugares. E a nossa meta foi 100. E nós passamos da meta com 108 inscritos. Então, foi um trabalho conjunto. E eu espero que na próxima edição, em 2019, na França, vocês possam já se programar até lá e ir conosco, participar, contribuir, né? Quem sabe, alguns podem até palestrar e falar um pouco da experiência. Então, minha palavra é de muito obrigado a todos vocês, de verdade, de coração. Obrigado. Declaro encerrada a escola, a segunda escola franco-brasileira. Vou pedir à organização, aos palestrantes da organização, para a gente fazer uma foto. Primeiro vamos tirar uma foto de todo mundo aqui antes. E depois a gente vem todo mundo para cá, a gente vai tirar uma foto. Depois a gente tira uma foto da organização e dos participantes. E2. Yuri, você tira, depois troca e você vem. Come, vamos tirar foto, todo mundo, vem pra cá. Vamos juntar todo mundo aqui e tirar uma foto, por favor.
What? Alguém estacionou no meio e ficar sem. Vai perder algum tempo.
I disagree.